Yo, yo, yo. Welcome in, everybody. Dean's running a little bit late. So while we wait for Dean to join the stream, let's talk about car audio shows. Do you guys plan on going to any car audio shows? Season's starting back up again. I will be with Derek from Wilson Audio Labs at Kicker HQ next Saturday for I guess it is their inaugural SQ competition that they're going to have there. I think they're going to have 3 or 4 organizations, um, maybe more than that. So this should be a good time. If you want to hang out, check out the SQ systems, show your system off. I will be there. Derek will be there. Outside of that, I mean, how many of you guys plan on going to the Kicker show next week? I guess I could put the mic closer to my face. That probably would help. Um, how many of you plan on going to the Kicker show? Let me know in the comments. What other shows coming up should I go to? What other shows are somewhere in my area? So I'm in the Arkansas area. So what shows are going on that I don't know about coming up? Let me know in the comments. And if you're there, give me a shout. Give me a shout in the comments where you're from, what shows you going to. Man, nothing. So, matter of fact, let's look up the Kicker show down here. Kicker. I don't know if it's on the website. Let's see here. Oh, Matthew Davis, you'll be at Kicker. Nice. What kind of setup you got? I'm trying to look here to see if they have the Kicker show. Let's see, Kicker. It's not on the website. I know that it's on their social media. ST Series, SQ. Okay. That's not it. Uncle Bobby B, what's up? E-Dud, I got your package out. What's up? Mobile, Alabama. A pretty cool place. Let's see. Do you guys know what Kicker show is called this week? Kicker SQ at HQ. I think this is it. Okay. Let me share screen here so you guys can see it. All right. So, May 17th, my wife's birthday. I'm going to be at the Kicker show, so I hope to see you guys out there for sure at Kicker HQ. And then let's see. So it looks like Mask will be out there. Ayaska. Of course, best part of the weekend is walking away with the 5K win. So there's a prize purse on this. That's nice. But don't worry, we have other prizes too. And visit the Kicker Visitor Center and Museum will be open for your viewing pleasure. So if you guys haven't got to check out the museum, it's very cool. It's a new addition. They've had their visitor center for a while, but you guys should definitely check out the museum. Very cool. In Houston, June 7th, it's called Run Your System, Not Your Mouth. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Fuego has a package coming as well. Red River Shootout. Where's that at, Craig? L7X 18-inch on an LX 3001 LX4 channel, 2 sets of Q Class 6.5s. Oh man, dude. Yeah, I would love to hear that. Are you just bringing it to hang out and demo, or are you competing? I'd love to hear that. That's the Kicker XQ1. Okay. So that's pretty much the details right here. I don't see anything else that we haven't covered outside the fact that I'll be there. Derek will be there. I believe. I think Dean said Brian Mitchell will be there with the Volt. So that'd be cool. Not compete, just hanging out. Yeah, man. Like if you catch me, yeah, I'd love to hear your system. Check it out. That sounds pretty impressive. Does anyone know if Kip still works at Kicker? I haven't seen her. Um, yes, I believe he does. He does work at Kicker still. I don't know exactly what form, but I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. So Bobby says Cornette will be there. Oh, cool. Nice. I haven't seen him since Slamology, so Corey's a cool guy. Really cool guy. Yeah, so what other shows outside of that are coming up? I know that, let's see. That's Kicker Club. Andy's little new comp Q. I haven't even watched that video yet. Looks cool. So that's the show I'm going on. Not in your area, ISCA event in August in the Twin Cities, Minnesota. Namely listed shop to tune it. There you go. That'd be a nice little setup. Gadsden, Alabama, June 14th, 7th annual Block Fest. So while we're talking about shows, I've kind of the bug has bit me again. I made a unboxing video for the Solo X8 here. Gonna do a box build soon. Mother's Day is Sunday, so my wife wanted a new fire pit area, so I'm gonna be working on that. But box build coming up. I'm doing something. You guys, if you're watching live, you're gonna be able to see. I'm doing something crazy in the Trooper. So I had an Audison that I was going to run and actually hooked it up and started the EQ process and the tuning. And I was like, you know what? I want to do something kind of dumb. So I purchased 2 more Kicker 200.4s. I'm going to run it by amped on the front stage, and I'm going to run it on the rear fill. It's always something I wondered what it would sound like. So I'm going to do it. So I bought some, I'm going to do it. And I got them from Crutchfield. Not sponsored, but dude, Crutchfield's simply the best. I love Crutchfield. They're usually price comparable with about anything that they carry. So when I can, I definitely buy from Crutchfield. But I'm going to take out the Snowman that I am currently running in the Trooper. It's not a great fit for what I'm trying to do with the 2 keys. So I'm taking those out and I'm going to replace it with the I bought a set from Crutchfield, a set of the tweets. So we're going to run the tweets and the KS mids in the doors. And I actually have some Hertz, was it DT or Centos? Yeah, Centos in the back. So I'll just be leaving those in. Outside of that, what else you guys got going on? Any crazy projects you're working on personally? Well, there you go. Melissa gave you a referral there, Ken. Is this still cold up there? It's honestly down here. It has been like in the 40s and 50s in the morning. Then it's got up to like high 60s, low 70s. It's honestly been a little cold here in May, which is crazy. We're usually getting pretty hot by now. I imagine you guys must be pretty cold as well. Excuse me. Dean should be here in another minute or so. He's running a few minutes behind. So, does anybody have any information on SQology or not SQology, Slamology? Do you know what it's updated? What they're doing? Let's look. Let me see here. Let's see what they say. Oh no. Slamology rescheduled to 2026. Well, we don't want to see that ad. So they talked about on Kicker Unmasked. I'm definitely missed that show. Now, it's a highly anticipated Slamology event will be rescheduled until 2026 after careful consideration and evaluation of various factors. The organization has decided to reschedule the event to ensure it continues to deliver a high-quality experience that attendees, participants, and sponsors expect. Does it say where it will be? Let me see the address. They're going to appear on Kick Around Mass Tuesday, February. So they've done this a while ago. This was let me see. So now Canby, Indiana. I don't think they did. They must have said on Kicker Unmasked if they switched it. Huh, that's kind of crazy. Actually, unseasonably warm. We've had some days in the 80s and 90s predicted for Sunday. Wow. Yeah, it's been a little cool here. It'll be warm soon enough, so not complaining. Yep. So no updates on that. Let's see what else we got here. What other topics do you guys want to hit till Dean shows up? If Dean shows up, we'll have a ton of topics. You guys want to know anything about the Solo X8? I'm sure that there's been a few. I know MB has put out a few videos on it. He's already built his enclosure. So Craig says, I've been thinking that cardio brands do a terrible job advertising to 40-ish year old dudes that can actually spend the money. 100%. I think, back in the day, it was all targeted to us as teens, and maybe they're trying to. What car audio advertisement do you guys see now? I rarely see anything, even on YouTube, outside of a specific YouTube channel. Yo, Dean, welcome in.
Sorry.
No problem. We were vamping.
I know.
Talking about the Slamology reschedule to 2026.
What?
Yeah, they lost their venue.
Oh, really?
So their venue was the Lucas Speedway.
Yeah.
In Indiana, but for whatever reason, at the remodel, it's not going to work for them.
Okay.
So apparently, what I found out through Google and sharing with our friends here on the stream is that they were on Kicker on Mass February 18th talking about it.
Okay.
But I missed that one.
Shocking.
Yep. I definitely missed it. You know what I didn't miss though? Your review of the Audison Slash Amp.
Yeah, audio control. What? Wait, what?
Yeah, the Audison Slash Amp.
I reviewed an Audison Slash Amp.
Yeah. It's, or maybe it was audio control.
Audio control.
No, it looks, dude. I'm telling you, does that not look like I literally just took the AP 8.9 out of the Trooper.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like that and a JL Slash Amp together.
They had a baby.
Yeah, they definitely had a baby.
Yeah. Okay. No, I feel you. Okay. Yep. Yeah, that thing was crazy.
Yeah. Hey, put out some power.
Yeah.
You went full Derek on it, went outside the manufacturer's recommended ratings.
So we found out tonight that the newest versions of those, they removed the restrictor plates on them, or whatever that means.
Yeah.
I think that was a figure of speech, but now they will do 1 ohm.
Okay.
So, but
listen, secret is apparently they did 1 ohm anyways before.
Yeah. The reality is you need good power to do that.
That's the secret people don't think about,
No, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like and you know, and Derek says it all the time. He'll talk about his battery bank, but I don't think people really grasp. Like, I think Derek spent like just $500 or $600 on bus bars for his batteries.
Yeah.
He has these. I don't know how many. He's got like there's like a whole, like one of those big carts, like
Yeah.
a whole row just of these.
Wow.
So I mean, yeah, I don't think people realize that.
We that had 220, that we have 221 Stinger 2150s, the reds, that we didn't get to fully charge that day, because we needed it for the car in the bay. But then there's the 4 Astrons,
the 70 amps.
It's 270s and 250s.
270s, 250s. Yeah.
And we do that so we can turn them off. So if we want to get a different voltage, like on that one, we ran that one at 14.4 because that's what they wanted. You know, the manufacturer wanted it to be at 14.4. So we were going to redo it at like 13.5, but no, it was like, nah.
It's like you already done it. Yeah. I feel the same way. Like when I'm doing the test, like I don't really want to. I'm not the amp dyno guy. Like, you know, like Derek got those bases covered. He's going to do the high and low voltage and stuff. Like I'm just trying to do one. Like, if it happens to be the lower, then that's what it is.
If we would have just done like the kicker one where we just did an amp dyno video, then it would have made sense. But this one, there was already a ton of crap that we were sifting through. So I was like, let's go home.
Yeah. Well, it's like, and I don't. So originally, a lot of people hated that design, but I never minded it from the beginning. Yeah, like I just seen a lot of when they first announced it before the amps were even available, and they had an NCO outlook, you know, a C outlook. But I'd never minded them. Like I said, they remind me of an Audison and a Slash amp.
No, I'm sorry. I liked it. You knew exactly what I was laughing.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah.
Well, hey, listen. The reality of this is sales tactics, right? And they clearly have no sales tactics because rule number 1 is if you don't have something, you don't say our stuff sounds better. You simply say we don't sell Focal. We like what we sell, and maybe you'll like it too. Would you care for a demo? That's it. You know, the whole goal is to never, you want to be that asshole. You know, that's really what some people do. Clearly, a lot of people do. I've been fortunate in that we sell Focal. And the reality is it's almost like stupid because there's so many good sounding speakers that are out there. It's silly to be like, we don't sell that crap. It's like, okay, so you're already, it's a rough one because people are so sensitive now.
Right. Yeah.
Which I suck at, your feelings. I'm not that guy, but I understand. So trying to be somewhat like, hey, we also have, there's more than just one brand out there, and you might like these. I don't know.
Yeah. Speaking of Focal, I haven't messed with any new Focal. Where's back in the day, you would cross the tweeters over around 5,000.
Still do.
It's still the same.
So you have the new. So the new K2 tweeter, which is, what do they call it? The frac. I think it's the new frac tweeter, which is the it's the frac. That is it's actually a speaker. Like, it's not a conventional tweeter. It has a spider and all that fun stuff. You can play that lower. Like that was the whole idea behind going to the frac tweeter, was that it can play lower.
Uh-oh, we lost Dean. This has happened 3 weeks in a row. He'll be right back. But yeah, the frac tweeter, I actually have not. He's back every week now. It's just a thing now.
Do it once just to get it out.
Yeah, just get it out of the way.
But anyways, with the frac tweeter, you can go lower, and there again, depending on how much power you're going to put to it, you can, like, if you're going to put like almost no power to it at all, Emma style, you can cross it over like really, really low. But
yeah. When I feel like I don't really need my tweeters crossed over low. It's not typically a big thing. Back in the day when I was a little more, I didn't understand how systems worked as well as I do now.
Right.
It was kind of a big deal, but yeah, I mean their mids play up high enough that and they sound great. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there again, it's like he says, it's nice to see this more mainstream. I mean, it's a brand, they want to be known, they want to sell their product. They're French, so they'll never be made here in the United States. So they'll always be paying tariffs.
Oh, hey, that's
yeah,
what you go. It's I guess at least it's not going to be 125%.
No.
But I the only brand new set of focals that I purchased were the polyglass back in the 90s.
Which sucked.
And then I actually adored them compared to what I had before.
Yeah.
But I had like some mid-line Clarion at that point.
So it's funny because like everyone fondly remembers polyglass. Like,
yeah.
Oh my God. And you can still buy polyglass. It's not like it's discontinued. You still buy the grayish black polyglass.
Yeah.
Flax are what replaced those. But like we had a demo board and we had like Access, Polyglass, K2, and K2 was just so much better than Polyglass.
Yeah.
Polyglass could have been amazing, but when like you compared it to K2, it just sounded like suck.
Yeah.
Because the K2 sounded so good. It was just like, these things suck. Whereas if we would have like put those up against, something else, they probably would have been like, God, wow.
Right.
Damn, my man. That's this, but we screwed up. So, but that was the display. That was how Orca wanted that stuff. I love my polyglass, but my hearing is very good. Obviously, K2 is my favorite line. But yeah, see, that was the thing. So it's like, I think marketing wise, we screwed up, because that's what they told us to do. And, if we would have just done like Access and K2, but Polyglass was at the time because Flax didn't exist.
Right.
That was the middle of the road, but it just never, it was like, what ended up happening is we sold a lot of Access and we sold some K2.
Right.
We sold zero Polyglass because the Access actually sounded pretty good for the money. And that was the thing. It was like, they'd be like, oh, well, I'll just take those because those sound like crap and I can't afford those. Yeah, it's in there again. That's a tough sale. Like having those two on the same board I would never do that. I would never be, And the other thing too is like the K2 in a car is a totally different experience. So, and that's one of those things where it's like you can't really. Yeah, that's why I hate demo boards. I hate demo boards.
You can never tell. And I at one point did get my hands on a pair of first gen Kevlar focals, and the mids I liked way better. The tweets I thought they were similar, but I'm not a focal tweeter guy.
Right.
I like other tweeters a little bit better, but there's nothing wrong with them. People, I've heard them sound excellent.
Well, no, it's a hard dome tweeter. Hard dome tweeter sounds. So you're either digging it or you don't. It's just one. Listen, man. Some people like red crayons. Some people like blue crayons. It's okay. They all crayons. I carry them all.
Yeah.
I got your crayons, baby. You want a green crayon? I got a green crayon.
Listen, that's why I was never a huge MB Court guy. Love the mids. I love the mids. I thought the mids were awesome, but the tweets were just, dude, they were like...
They were sparkling.
They were super tweeters before super tweeters.
Yes, they were. Yeah. Oh, for sure. I never could get into those, but I think that's why Focal does so well. Is that, and there again, the K2 has a very unique sound because it's a Kevlar, but there again, they've done away with the Kevlar tweeter. And now they've gone the new dome, the new diaphragm for the frac tweeter is the material they use in the flax tweeter. It's just a totally different tweeter. So, have
all their tweeters been inverted dome? Like, I don't remember seeing any that aren't.
is as long as I've known him.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was never an MV Cork guy.
Yeah. The tweeters were just, I like the mids. They had some good budget stuff at the time, but that brand is just German as hell. Like they're very like, like when someone's speaking rapidly in German, they sound angry regardless.
Yeah.
If they're not or if they are not. Boston Pros. I didn't have a whole lot of experience with Boston Pros. Outside
there again, that's another one that everybody loved.
Yeah. So. I know that's kind of like one of Derek's. That's his one that he remembers fondly from back in the day was the Boston Pros.
I wonder, it'd be funny if you could go back and hear what you thought was your best, like, dude, this, go back in time and hear your benchmark, but now.
Oh yeah, no.
I would just be curious how many people think their benchmark would be. They'd be like, "Wow, I thought these sounded good."
Yeah,
damn, I was. Wow, well,
it's like you say, you only know what you know, right?
Right.
So it was the best thing you heard at the time.
Right, but I don't. Yes, exactly. But times have changed.
Yeah.
Move on, man. Move on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's some things I feel like that about like Klipsch Heresy, first gen speakers, home speakers.
Right.
There was just something about them, and I've heard the new iterations of them, and I've heard there's been like 3 or 4 now, and they just never kind of captured that first one for me. So that's like, I think that's maybe the one instance in my life that I felt like they couldn't top the original. Now, if I compared Klipsch Heresy from back in the day to another brand's top end, I'm sure there's going to be a huge gulf, but them trying to remake it, they like never recaptured it, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, it's different people.
Yeah.
Speaking of home audio, Fernando was telling me this week that Harman bought some companies.
Oh, dude! So it's like, it's the Harman Group by Samsung.
Yes, very nice name.
So they bought, what is it? They bought.
They buy Bowers and Winkles or B&W.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, I think we gotta look it up.
Harman Corp.
The early Diamond Hex series were fantastic. I agree. I love those. We sold the shit out of those. And of course the funny story is that the Hexatech cones, the company was making for them was making skis, and so when they went to place their second order, it was wintertime and they were making skis, and they're like, we can't make them right now. We're making skis, and they're like, dude, wait, what?
Diamond Audio, the first Inception Diamond Audio was so legit.
Yeah,
like the Mac Daddy subwoofers, their amps that were hand milled aluminum.
Oh yeah, the chrome ones.
They were aluminum, and they had the clear windows with the big Torah.
Oh, those were actually the older amplifiers. Those were newer.
Right, yeah. Those were the D7s or something like that.
Yeah, those were like the esoteric amplifiers.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, because the chrome like M5s or whatever the hell they were first.
I remember, yeah, those were good too. But yeah. I didn't own one of those, but I did own the other.
I own the chrome ones.
Let's see here. Harman International Industries said to acquire 2 privately held companies for a combined $950 million in cash.
Oh, that's a deal.
To bulk up its offerings for the connected car. So Harman owns Mark Levison, Harman Kardon, said to buy Symphony Teleca, a software services company, for $780 million, and Israel-based Red Bin Software, which specializes. Dude, this is so old.
I was gonna say this.
That's so old. Yeah, that's been done. Let's see. April 4th, 2 days ago. This one might be more. Or actually, they have a Reuters. Samsung Electronics says Unit Harman acquires Massimo's audio business for $350 million. Let's see what they do here. Massimo Audio. I haven't heard of it. It plans to combine Massimo Audio's business with Harman to strengthen their global leading position in the consumer audio market. which is expected to grow from 60.8 billion in 2025 to 70 billion in 2029, Samsung said.
Okay.
And then there's a lot of stuff about synergy, and that's it. Yeah. Massimo Corp. Do you know, does that ring a bell to you?
No.
I wonder, do you think that's more, let me see. So Bowers and Wilkin, do they already own that, or is that part of Massimo Corp's holdings?
Oh, I think it's probably part of Massimo.
It's got to be, because that's the Nautilus speaker, kind of like the famous.
Yeah.
Bowers and Wilkins.
Yeah.
The Dishner brands of Bowers and Wilkins, Denon, Marantz.
Oh, that was it. Denon. Yeah. So
yeah, and Definitive Technology. My God.
Dude, they bought Polk.
Yeah.
You know, used to own Polk?
Dude.
Directed used to own Polk.
Really?
Yeah.
Like Car Audio, they're still doing that?
Yeah. No, they owned the whole company.
One, I know they were still doing home audio stuff. Definitive Technology is another pretty big home audio brand.
Yeah.
Marantz, obviously. Bowers and Wilkin.
I think they're pissed that they missed out on the Macintosh purchase.
But who bought them now?
Bose bought Macintosh. So,
and they already own Bang & Olufsen, AKG, Infinity, Mark Levinson. They own everything now.
They didn't buy these, like the home audio. Fuck it, who cares? They'll make money. They bought them for the names, because they want to put a B&W system in a car. They want to put a Denon system in a car. Like these are all the name is the value in all of this. Here's the funny part. Here's the funny part in all of this, right? They buy these companies that are home audio companies because it's what they know, and I get it, because they're like, oh well, we want to put these, because like people have these home stereos in their house, right?
Yeah.
None of these companies have ever bought a car stereo company. Like,
what's the reason to?
When you look at oh my gosh, Garmin bought JL Audio. Samsung should have bought JL Audio.
Right.
The name. Screw all the crap, because it's one of the most, Kicker, Rockford. These are all the most popular brands in like what, like buy them.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if like somebody like Samsung, or somebody like Harman, JBL, all those guys, they bought a Kicker?
Yeah.
And like screw a Toyota with JBL. Nobody wants that shit. But you put a Kicker system in there? Oh my God. Like, oh dude.
That's
like,
those were the big three: Rockford, JL, as far as America goes. Rockford, JL, and Kicker.
And you look at who, like, okay, so obviously nobody bought Kicker because Steve's not selling to anybody, but kind of progressive buying group that I don't even know what they do. I think they make like motorhomes or something.
Yeah.
They bought Rockford, and then Garmin buys JL. It's like these things, like I get the dots. Like there was other things that Rockford did that Progressive wanted, which is cool. But and I get why Garmin bought JL Audio, but like these, like, why, I don't know. I guess there's just no value in why buy a car stereo brand, to sell to car stereo.
Yeah. We buy the home audio to sell the factory system with a different badge, and they're like, "Oh, Bowers and Wilk. Oh, this is going to be amazing." Just like the new Jeep. Oh, this is a Macintosh system
designed by Alpine.
Yeah, except it's an Alpine. Yeah,
it's an Alpine. Oh no, don't get me wrong. JBL is a huge business, but JBL is owned by Harman International. Okay,
right.
So Harman is the big guy in the room. JBL is just a small portion of their monopoly on this brand. So,
which is, JBL, it's kind of, it makes sense for them to buy cardio stuff because the Harman group has always been in cardio, Infinity, JBL, pretty much. So, but the other ones, like, I feel like I don't know, man. I just feel like out of the two purchases, Rockford and JL, it just seems JL's going way worse from the beginning than Rockford went. I don't know if that's true. It's just that's the feeling I get as far as car audio enthusiast perspective.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think I don't know when Patrick bought Rockford. It's been a while. I think part of it is the coverage. You know, it's like Patrick really didn't do anything. You know, Patrick came in and they bought him, and it's just like, do you know who owns Stinger? Nobody knows. It's just an investment company, right? But Stinger bought Audio Control, and like, so that's more in the forefront of things. Patrick is a behind the scenes kind of company. Like, they don't make a product that has Patrick Industries on it. Garmin makes a product, so their name is a brand,
right?
You know? So I think that's why they've had such a hard time. It's because in the grand scheme of things, if you were to say, if you take 100 people, all walks of life, and say, do you know what Garmin is? Do you know what JL is? I think Garmin is probably, they're again, just I think Garmin is a bigger brand.
Oh, if you just talk to normal people, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I mean,
yeah.
Whereas if you said Patrick versus Rockford or Stinger versus Audio Control, these are all things that it's like, Stinger and Audio Control, that would be a fight, because some people know that, some people know, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, Jail's still making good stuff as of now. I just don't know where it's going in the future. Is there going to be cuts where they're like, "Hey, we're focusing on this now. We're not going to focus on this," because in my opinion, they already weren't fully focused on car audio for a long time.
No,
it's been to the side for me. Obviously, they're huge in marine, and it's like you got to go where the money is. It's just,
oh yeah, you got to pay the
it's you can't blame them, but they're doing what they're doing. They had the VXI amps and all that, but I just felt like the bulk of it was probably going towards marine stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's what it is, man. I mean, I don't care one way or the other. Whatever, if whatever Garmin decides to do with it, that's cool. I mean, it's theirs to play with, man. I think it would be fantastic if they, the thing of it is like, when you look at, like you said, a lot of the stuff is marine. Okay. And if it's marine, it's usually cross-platformable, meaning it can be car audio, because we all know, developed VXI, and they put it in boats, and they do multi-zone and do all this cool shit with it, which consequently they can dumb it down a little bit and you can put it in your car. So, Garmin could look at it and go, hey, we can get in an on-tap market that we haven't been very successful in, which is car. So that might be cool, because they're losing car navigation. So maybe they can pick up some of the funds, like, this is the first year Kenwood is not going to have an in-dash Garmin navigation system. Okay. So they're going to lose. I mean, it's been smaller and smaller and smaller. So, maybe this is how they pick that money back up. I mean, because nobody likes to have a negative, so who knows? Or they just say, listen, I don't care what you want. We're going to do this.
You might get an integrated Garmin audio OEM system. Who knows?
Yeah.
And it might actually be good. I mean, if they're using jail stuff, it might actually be good.
I still think the move is to do factory jail audio stuff.
I would too. Yeah, of course. Do they do that? Have they?
No.
You know of any?
No, there isn't any. They've never been in that market.
Yeah.
I think out of the big three, the Rockford with Nissan was the only time one of these companies has had, and then Kicker currently with General Motors tailgate stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but I think you're right. Like, Rockford's the only one's like, hey, we got a Rockford Fosgate system in here.
Yeah, because they had that in Nissan and then the Mitsubishi.
And so I feel like JL probably thought they would be diluting their brand if they did something like that, and maybe so, but I don't know. That's just,
I mean, it's just brand awareness. I mean, out there. I must be used to ARC, Moscone, and Audio Control them. I personally can't stand the VXI software. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna disagree with you. I think it's there are things about it I like, and there's things about it I don't like. So, you know,
I don't mind, although no DSP expert, because I actually kind of like the Audison software too, but and a lot of people hate that, but I do like the Tweak. I kind of like the software. I thought
it's very basic and easy to use.
it's very basic, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and there again, listen, you can have your favorite. I don't care. Like Bassaholic, he's like Moscone. Listen, it's okay. It's okay. And I know he likes the fucking tool that I have that I've never opened. The JL Audio thing, Max. People
Max
like Helix. She likes Moscone. There's Arc. Audison. There's a ton of DSP software out there.
Yeah.
And if you have one that you like, it doesn't make it any better than the other guys.
Yeah, it's just what you like.
Just pick, put your flag in the ground. Yes, the Max. Put your flag in the ground and use that. You know what I mean? Like if you like the Mac software and you like JL Audio and that those turn your dials in your head, that's cool. That's cool. Run with it. Do your thing until it can't do something you want. Okay? And that's when you change. Because at some point the DSP software is going to do is not going to be able to do something. And you're going to be like, "Man, I really wish because you're gonna see what's missing, and you're gonna know, and you're gonna be like, man, I really wish this software would do this." And that's when you go find different software, or a different DSP, because you've run into a wall, and you should never run into a wall. As soon as you run into a wall, go through the door, go to the next wall. So. Like we use a lot of Blackbirds. We use a lot of Moscone. We've done a lot of audio control. We've had Audison. We don't do a lot of it. We have Helix. We don't do a lot of it. And they all have unique software, and they all have really cool features, and they all have same features, and some of them even have like unique features. And so when like in our case, because we sell so many brands, it's kind of annoying. Because you're like, all right. Because then you have to think, all right, what tool, what problem, what do I need to fix? Here we go. That's good. Yeah, there's your JL pun. And you move forward. Like in some cases, it's like, no, these four products will do that. So cool. I can pick any one of them I want. They all have the tools I need to do this. Oh no, this one has a really this tool is unique to this product. And this customer is asking for that. So I should move them into this. But most people, it's like, and there again, most retailers are like, pick one. Just pick one and become proficient at it to the point to where you can go, it doesn't do this. I need something that does this because that would be more useful. And then you change.
Right.
Which is fine.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're all, I mean, like the difference between the Dayton DSP and the JBL DSP software.
Dude come in and ask me, he's like, hey, and I was like, dude, seriously, that is the biggest piece of shit DSP on the planet. And then you're gonna ask me about it? I said, go watch one of our videos, man. I'm like, come on, seriously, dude. I mean, how much did you pay for it? He goes, I paid $80 for it. I said, you got $100 worth of problems. I'm like, if you want a cheap DSP, there are plenty of good cheap DSPs out there. And he's like, I was thinking about getting the DS18. I said, go buy the DS18. Like, if you can, it's the same stuff, just better. Go buy it.
No.
Like, shit. And by that, it's software, not product.
Right. It's the like the JBL. It's the same software, but with a better skin on it. It's a little more.
Yeah. Well, they paid for more options.
Right. It's a little more
Dude, literally, that company is a menu, bro. Yeah. I've seen the PDF. They send you over a PDF, and you literally just circle the features you want. Yeah. And then they give you a price.
And the JBL will trick you into thinking, oh, this is a pretty decent little DSP until you have to start doing the time alignment. You're like, oh, I got to measure from the furthest speaker away. I hate this. I really hated it. It's not some unsurmountable obstacle, but
Bro,
it just made me hate it more.
I was using a DSP today and it didn't have level control.
Ooh.
And I'm like, how in the fuck do you build a DSP that doesn't have level control?
That's like a head unit DSP at that point.
Oh no, dude, head unit DSPs have level control. Like Kenwood, Alpine doesn't, and
Yeah.
but Pioneer and Sony doesn't, but Pioneer and Kenwood do. And it's like, how in the fuck do you not have level control? Oh my god, what a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
You know, because now I got to do it through equalization. I'm like, this is gonna take fucking all day. Oh my god, this sucks.
Yeah. Hey, even the Dayton DSP has level control.
Yeah. It happens.
Yeah.
But luckily we were putting it all worked out in the end. So that's all that matters. And that's really all that matters is the end, right? How you got there, nobody gives a shit about. You know, that's kind of the photography thing when you're looking at a picture on the wall and it's this beautiful picture and the first dumb fucking question you ask is, what kind of camera did you use to take that? You go, I don't know, the one that was in my hand when I shot it. I mean, you want to know what software I edited it on too? I mean, what does it matter, dude? It's here. This is it. This is whatever it came from, and it passed through my eyeballs and out my fingertips to the wall. This is the finished product. So appreciate that. You know, it's like, what kind of paintbrushes did you use to paint that? You know,
dude, it's like
did you finger paint that?
When you pay someone to do something, the only way I care about what they had to do to get it done is if it's going to cause me a problem in the future, possibly, or it costs me more money. Outside of that, I don't care. If it costs the same, it's not going to cause me a future problem. Just do what you got to do to get it done.
I mean, when it comes to money, Harman pretty much signs the checks. So JBL isn't doing anything without Harman okaying it. But I mean, hey, listen, JBL wanted to sell loudspeakers, which means Harman wanted to sell loudspeakers in Brazil. And so they had to buy a Brazilian speaker manufacturer to do it because it's too expensive to import speakers into Brazil. So what do they buy? Selenium. So now there's Selenium by JBL. Like, dude, these guys are about money, bro. it's who cares how you get it? I mean, at the end of the day, all of it passes through Samsung. And they're just sitting there going, oh, we no touch. We made refrigerators that sucked, so we're not touching this one. You know, we just want to be in the car business. You know, so I mean that's literally what it was. Samsung wants to have their finger in everything they can to diversify, and so they bought the biggest guy in the room. Like, I mean, that's what you do, right?
Hey, listen, Samsung trying to make cameras too for a while.
Yeah, they did,
and they even made like not just like zoom cameras, like they made like a real.
They made a DSLR. Yeah.
It's like,
well, and that's because they make sensors and they make memory. And it's like, no, just make sensors and memory and sell them to the guys that want them.
Yeah,
you know.
Listen,
stupid.
We're gonna sidejack here at the end, but I would love for Apple to make a real camera.
I think they talked about it there for a minute.
Right?
They won't.
No, because that's not what they do. But I think they could make a like if they had dedicated camera, it would probably cost $5,000, and not 10 people would buy it. You know?
Oh yeah, no.
But I think they could do something cool with it. They're not as innovative as they used to be under Tim Cook, obviously. But
yeah. I guess JBL is not going to make a DSP. So here's the thing you got to remember about Harman as a group. When it comes to DSP, they own all the technology for DSP. Okay. They license that technology for a lot of money to car manufacturers. So instead of making one DSP, they can make one DSP and put it in a car, Toyota, and do magic with it and license that technology, and it still sounds like shit to most of us because we're a 1%er. But they have all the best technology. They're not going to, like, they have the best up mixers, they have the best surround sound processors, they have all the technology, bro. Like all the technology.
Well, we heard a car at finals that was built off a modified a modified JBL factory.
Who works for Harman? He has a Mark Levinson system in there, and he's he works for them, so he has access to the DSP.
Right.
And and
And it was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was a very cool system.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
built off of a factory radio.
Yeah.
And not even for that car, because he's driving a Subaru, and that's out of like a Lexus or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Natan's car. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Natan's.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. He's a great guy, smart
yeah.
dude. Oh my god, he's a smart guy, and it's just fun. Like I had some great conversation with him because I always ask the questions that I'm not supposed to. Just that's how you find out.
That's Dean doing D things.
Yeah, Dean doing Dean things, and people always tell me, which is great. I don't know why, because I don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
And I won't tell you what we talked about, but you know, and I've told I told the Samsung, they had the Samsung guy at Knowledge Fest, not this year, last year, and they found me and they were like, "Oh, we've been looking all over for you." I'm like, "Okay." Not real hard to find. And they're like, we want you to answer this guy's questions. And I said, sure. Who is he? And he's like, he works for Samsung. He's the liaison. And I said, okay, what does he want? What can I torture you about? What kind of answers do you want? Do you want truthful, mean answers that I'm really a special at? And then before this guy could say anything, they go, yes. I go, okay. And I said, fire away, you know? And listen, when it comes to DSP, everybody's DSP is a toy compared to the technology these guys have.
Yeah.
And the moment that Harman decides that they're going to make a product that allows us to unlock the capabilities that they have access to, it's over for everybody. You know, because they can do shit with sound that nobody can do. You know, they have the money, they have the budget, they have the research. Like at MasterTech this year, they had one of their doctorate of engineers out there talking about sound. He didn't know what he was going to be talking. Like he didn't know the room, so he was just like talking about sound and how it works and headphones and car sound. And it was like, dude, you're just sitting there listening to this guy talk about this shit and how they figure stuff out. And you're like, what the? Because they actually have trained listeners. Like that's a job where you're a trained listener. You are a professional listener. So your ears are a tool, and none of us are like you. There's a whole criteria. Like you can pick out frequencies and differences of frequencies and octaves and half octaves and all this nonsense. Like like you can do this. You can become a job, and then you'll sit and listen to these things, these headphones or this car or this system or this and they just, oh my God, I think most of what these companies do is just data gathering, you know, and like what you do when you put together your spreadsheets and shit like that. Cause you had spreadsheets, man, and you're just looking at all these numbers and you're just going, what the frick, man?
They got to be the trained listeners when they listen to the final product that ends up in a factory system. They're like, well, this is not what we wanted.
No, but see, keep in mind, they're not listening for performance.
Yeah,
they have an agenda.
They're looking for something specific.
It's just like judging at a competition where you're not necessarily listening to how the car sounds, you're listening to how the car performs.
Yeah.
So performance, yay. I think the MS8 was JBL's last DSP and nothing since. And Andy would probably agree with you on that. Andy Waymar, the keeper of the MS8.
I really didn't like the MS8 that much.
I never played. I played with one. That was it.
Yeah, they were. If I judge them compared to their time, they were a lot better than. I just had them much after their prime.
Yeah.
So
I had one and I didn't. I didn't understand it. You know? Yeah. And the guys were trying to tune this thing, and I'm like. And he's asking for something. I'm like, I don't know what you're asking for, man. Like, I don't know what this thing can do. I mean, Jesus, you know.
I got a Rockford 360.3.
Oh God.
Well after its prime, and I was like, oof, this one's tough. This is tough.
Yeah.
But I'm sure in its prime, it was probably pretty cool. I don't know.
Even Rockford was like, we still make this. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
People still use it. It's a functioning DSP, and I'm like, okay. I mean, sure. But there again, you also look at it and go, Rockford is all over the world,
mm-hmm.
as we found out doing our class on the web for the South Africans.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff like that. Oh, that stupid Palm Pilot. Yeah, that was so tragic. You know, it's a different tech base, different price points, different availability.
Well,
So
they made like the Sega Genesis well into the 2000s for markets like Brazil.
yeah,
You know, where they sold them because they have they're the most they were the tariff gangsters before we had a tariff gangster.
oh yeah, oh for
And
sure.
that's why we got Brazilian amps. That's why you got all these crazy things coming out of there.
Yeah. So funny story in the 360 that Melissa's talking about. The first version of the 360 that you set with the Palm Pilot, it had Bluetooth, and that's what you'd pair to. And she can probably remember this too, is that the Bluetooth never paired, and it was always janky as shit.
Yeah.
And as it turns out, the reason for that was they're used to building things, right? Back when we used to assemble shit in America. And so this is why we don't assemble shit in America anymore, is that they got a bag of Bluetooth chips in, and they dump them in, you know, they come in these aesthetically like anti-static bags, and you're supposed to open them and use them and open them and use them. They opened them all up and dumped them in like they did their components. So all the Bluetooth chips just got the shit zapped out of them. That's why half of them didn't work. And they would pull them out like candy and solder them in the boards, and half of them wouldn't work, or they'd work like shit because they basically shocked them. And by the time they figured it out, it was like, you know, because somebody was there and like, these things suck, and they're like, well, show us your process, and they're like, what the frick are you doing?
Yeah.
They didn't know. They hadn't built anything with Bluetooth in it before. You know, they were like,
You know what happened? A knucklehead in my same job was like, yo, why are you individually opening these? Put them in a bin, solder them in.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Nick Apicilla does the remote DSP tuning stuff. And
then
you have total.
He does. Who's the guy with the Mazda? Chris's buddy.
Well, no, total tuning. From MTI.
Yeah, he does that for them, right?
Yeah, but he also will do remote tuning. He'll send you a. He sends you out the JL tool, the Max. He sends you out a Max, and then you plug it in and all that. Miguel will also do it. Yes, that's true. Miguel will also do it. There's a bunch of them now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of them.
Jeffrey, thank you.
Jeffrey's his name.
Jeffrey Hald.
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Listen, I'm getting old, man.
Or if you're in the Atlanta area, just call Jeff Smith.
There you go. The Jeff Smith.
The Jeff Smith. Yes.
The Jeff Smith.
Yeah, for sure.
But
my first DSP was a 316. Yeah, I didn't think you can call it a DSP back then. I don't even know what you would call it. I think it would just be a box of shit. We put them in though.
You know, the first DSP I ever messed with was the Sony ES unit that went to the head unit to the P90. Dude, talk about archaic. I mean, it must have been groundbreaking at the time, but
I can tell you, in the 360.1, it had noise gate in it, and if you could get that thing to work, oh my god, like it worked so good for that time.
Yeah,
like it was magical. But you know, you only get it to work maybe twice. You know, and you're like, oh, this sucks. You know, you couldn't even sell it like on like it's like, hey, this thing will be well. It's like, this thing is such a piece of shit. So, and that's the problem. That came out way too early. They didn't come out so good. And either most companies that sold it were like, I'm not doing this shit anymore. This is just a joke. So,
see, Melissa knows.
Yeah.
And the joystick remote that you put up there, like a little windshield wiper control situation.
Yeah, man. Joystick remotes are the best.
Yeah. Play pause on the end, little rubberized button.
Clarion used to have one, and I had this guy was handicapped, and his hands were like this. And as soon as that joystick remote came out, he was like,
oh, he was jamming.
Yeah. Oh, he was jamming. We mounted that thing in there, and he was turning up his radio, doing all this crap. And I was like, you better buy 2 of these because they ain't going to make these forever.
Exactly. You got to have a backup.
Yeah. Yeah. But
listen, with that being said,
yes,
I'm not gonna have a show next week here.
No,
Derek's coming Thursday.
oh yeah, that's right.
We're
That's
going-
next week.
Yeah, he's flying in. We're going to the
Fantastic.
kicker thing. See us there Saturday. Brian Mitchell's gonna be there.
Yes,
Brian Mitchell's gonna be there.
Yep.
With the Volt. I
Yep.
assume. Why else would he come? Just to hang out.
And sold him a booth. So
there should be quite a few people. I don't know, Drew, if you're still in the chat. I don't know if you're going, but you got it. It should be a good time. If you're close enough to drive, you should check it out.
Yeah, I wish it was.
Yeah, it didn't work out this time.
No. I honestly just didn't know anything about it. Plus, last week we were doing last week things. So
yeah.
All
right. So no show next week, but we'll see you the week after.
We to hear all about it.
Yeah.
Take pictures.
Be a good time. I probably won't, but
I know.
I'll get some. You know how I am.
We only need like 5 to 6 good pictures.
I'll get some. If not, what I'll do is have Derek send me the pictures he took.
Perfect.
Because he's much like you. He's much better about recording what's happening.
Yeah.
I try. Listen, we all have our flaws.
Yes, it's okay. It's okay.
All right. If you want to see us talk about some other nonsense, some action-packed movie, click the link. We'll see you inside, Jag.
See ya.
See ya.